friends, welcome to Storytime. My name is Miss Maureen, and this week we are talking about mindfulness again. But this week we are going to extend our mindfulness out into the world. Before we talk about that, why don't we start with our hello song? When we sing hello, we will make a salute, and when we sing friends, we'll take our two fingers and we'll have them just give each other a little hug. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Good job. So we've already talked about mindfulness in ourselves. We've talked about spreading our mindfulness into others to help us be better friends. And today we're going to talk about extending our mindfulness out into the world so we can be more conscious of everything going on around us and how we fit into the world around us. The world can feel so big sometimes, but once you start to realize how connected everything is, it can really begin to feel a lot more intimate. We can extend our mindfulness to the world around us when we begin to focus on our relationship with the world around us. Our actions, no matter how small they might feel, can help shape a better world for us and everyone else. Do you remember what letter mindfulness starts with? Mindfulness. That's right. Mindfulness starts with the letter M. M is for mindfulness. Can you write the letter M with your finger in the air? M for mindfulness. What letter does world start with? World. Yes, world starts with the letter W. W is for world. Can you write the letter W in the air using your finger? W for world. W. Let's learn how to sign world using American Sign Language. First, we're going to take both of our hands and make a W with each of our hands. Then we'll cross our hands like this, and we're going to spin them around in a circle until they come back together, like we're outlining the shape of the world. 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 Good job. Why don't we learn how to sign the word people? What letter does people start with? People. Yes, people starts with the letter P. P is for people. P. To sign the word people, we'll take both of our hands and sort of make the letter P, both your hands, and we'll move them like this in two circles. Kind of like a couple people walking around. People. People. Let's learn one more word. Let's learn share. What letter does share start with? It makes a sound. Share. Yes, share starts with the letter S. S is for share. S. To sign the word share, take your non-dominant hand, so remember that's the one that you don't eat with, and hold it in front of you. And then take your dominant hand, and you're going to brush it over the top. Share. Share. That's great, guys. Now you guys can talk about the people that live in the world and what we can do to share with them so that we all have a better world together. Before we go into our first book, let's sing our alphabet together. If you like, you can paddle along at home, or you can follow along with me as I sign the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Our first book today is called How Big is the World by Britta Teckentrup. And as the title suggests, we are going to follow our little friend Mole around in this book as he tries to figure out the answer to the question, how big is the world? How big is the world? How big is the world? One morning, little Mole woke up with a big question for Papa. How big is the world? Asked little Mole. Why don't you go and find out? Replied Papa. So little Mole popped out of his little molehill in the middle of a big field. How big is the world? Asked little Mole when he met a tiny spider. As big as my web, the spider replied. My web is the world. There isn't any more. And the spider crawled away to the end of her world. Little Mole came upon a mouse. How big is the world? He asked. As big as my field, replied the mouse. My field is the world. And the mouse scampered away to the end of his world. How big is the world? Little Mole asked a horse. I happen to know that it is bigger than this field, replied the horse, as if he knew all about the world. The world goes all the way to the sea. That is the end of the world, continued the horse, and then he trotted away. How big is the world? Little Mole asked a seagull. As big as the ocean, I think, the seagull replied. What is the ocean? Asked little Mole. It's all that water splashing about, said the seagull. Come, I'll show you. They flew out over the ocean. Little Mole watched the world grow bigger and bigger. What's that? Called little Mole, shouting over the wind. A whale, replied the seagull. Can we go and say hello? Asked little Mole. Hold on tight then, said the seagull. How big is the world? Asked little Mole. Massive, replied the enormous whale. Jump on and I'll show you. They traveled north to where the ocean was so cold it had turned to ice. Is the whole world so cold? Asked little Mole, shivering. I know warmer places, replied the whale, and the whale turned and swam south. The ocean was calm. The air was warm, and as the sun went down, the sky became red. Where does the world end? Asked little Mole. End? Replied the enormous whale. I have swum in this ocean all my life, and I have never seen the end. Soon, moonlight danced on the waves. The world is beautiful, isn't it? Said little Mole. The more you look, replied the enormous whale, the more you will see. They saw a vast desert, a tall city, huge mountains. Wild jungles, colorful creatures, and thick forests. I miss my family, said little Mole. Then it's time to take you home, said the enormous whale. Are we there yet? Asked little Mole,
"Nearly," said the enormous whale. "Look, little mole, there's Seagull." Little Mole thanked the enormous whale, and the seagull flew Little Mole all the way home. Little Mole popped down into his little molehill. It was very late and very quiet. Everyone was asleep except Papa. "How big is the world?" whispered Papa. "As big as you want it to be," said Little Mole quietly, and he went to sleep. The end.
Before we go into our activities, why don't we start off with our gentle yoga flow. So whether you're on the floor or the couch or the bed, go ahead and meet me on your back. And before we start, why don't we reach our hands over our head, point our toes, and stretch as far as you can, and relax. So let's start by taking our knees and hugging them into our chest. And you can rock your legs back and forth here to gently stretch out your back. And then when you're all done, come back to the center. And we'll take a deep breath in and let it out. And then let go of your knees, and keeping your knees slightly bent, grab onto your two big toes with your fingers. You can move around a little bit here. This is happy baby. Go ahead and wiggle your legs out if you need to. And then we'll take another deep breath in and release. From here you can let go of your toes and raise your legs straight up and down. And if you like, you can prop your legs up against a wall if that's easier for you. We'll take a breath in here and release. And then just go ahead and drop your legs down to the floor. Totally relax your body. This is our starfish or shavasana. Take a deep breath here and let it all go. You can stay in this pose for the next exercise, or you can join me back up in a seated position. Whatever feels more comfortable for you. We're going to do a different imagination activity this week. And again, this is from the book Imaginations, Fun Relaxation Stories and Meditations for Kids by Carolyn Clark. This exercise is called Loving Kindness. So whether you're on your back or whether you're sitting up, go ahead and close your eyes. Imagine that you are sending love to yourself. How would you do this? Would you mail yourself a Valentine? Would you use your voice? Would you give yourself a hug? Would you blow yourself a kiss? Now tell each part of your body that you love it. I love you, feet. I love you, legs. I love you, belly. I love you, back. I love you, arms. I love you, face. Notice how your body feels when you tell it that you love it. Now think of someone you love very much. Maybe someone in your family or your best friend. Send them some love. Now think of someone who is mean or unfriendly. Send this person some love too. Sometimes people are mean because they don't feel loved. So send this person some extra love. Now think of all the people all over the world. Send them some love too. Now imagine all of these people you sent love to, and now imagine that all of these people send love back to you. You might even be able to feel it. Before we go into our next book, let's sing a quick song together. This song is called Let's Build a Better World. We're going to use some signs to help us sing this song. So let's walk through the first verse together. We're going to sing, let's work together. When we sign work, we'll take our two fists and tap our wrists together. Work. Do you remember the sign for together? Take your fists again. This time, put them next to each other and move them like you're stirring a pot with them. Together. Let's work together. When we sign build, we'll take our hands and stack them on top of each other. And then when we sign better, we'll take our top hand, pull it up into a thumbs up. Do you remember how to sign world? Our two W's, circle them around. Let's put that together. Let's work together to build a better world. Let's try singing it. Let's work together. Let's work together. Let's work together to build a better world. Good job! Now let's try to share together. Let's share together. Let's share together. Let's share together to build a better world. Good job! Let's learn one more. Let's learn together. Let's learn together. Let's learn together. Let's learn together to build a better world. Good job, guys. Remember how we've been talking a lot about our 5 senses and how we use them to understand the world around us? Well, in this book, we are going to use our 5 senses to try to understand the idea of peace. This book is called What Does Peace Feel Like? And it's by Radunsky, but also children just like you from around the world. The author in this book has asked a bunch of kids from around the world just like you what they think that peace feels like, smells like, tastes like, sounds like, and looks like. What does peace feel like? What does peace feel like? How interesting. The word peace is beautiful in all languages. Did you ever close your eyes and try to imagine peace? What does peace smell like? Like a bouquet of flowers in a happy family's living room. Like fresh and new furniture. Like wind that comes in your nose when you are sleeping. Like fresh air that makes you want to go out and sleep in the sun. Like pizza with onions and sausage that just came out of the oven. Smelled by Michael, age 10, Dario, aged 8.5, Finbar, age 9, Oliver, age 10, and Claire, age 8. What does peace smell like to you? What does peace look like? Like a cat and a dog curled up in a basket together. Like new babies, just born yesterday. Like a cloud high up in the sky that just happens to be there giving happiness to everybody,
white and fluffy peace. Like your mom that kisses you and hugs you. Like something beautiful that goes away but will come back. Seen by Maxon, age 10, Sylvia, age 8, Bruno, age 8, Julia, age 9, and Claire, age 8. What does peace look like to you? What does peace sound like? Like a growling bear of war who gets shot by a love arrow and the fighting stops. Like a silent day. Like laughter and happiness, children on their birthday and parents when their children get married. Like raindrops falling. Like everyone's heart beating, making one big sound together. Like voices singing. Like no bad words. Heard by Irene, age 8, Francesco, age 9, Irene L., age 9, Marco, age 9, Erica, age 9, Bhavana, age 9, and Fenna, age 9. What does peace sound like to you? What does peace taste like? Like vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream, strawberry ice cream, banana ice cream. Like water. Like sweet, definitely not sour. Like sour, but a nice kind of sour. Like your favorite food times 2. Tasted by more than 100 boy and girl ice cream lovers. Marco, age 9, Joel, age 8, Finbar, age 9, and Maxon, age 10. What does peace taste like for you? What does peace feel like? Like hugs your friends give you when you cry. Like the fur of my adorable cat Alice. Like the fur of a baby mouse. Like a lot of fun because you know you are safe. Like someone stroking your back. You shiver a little, but it's a wonderful feeling. Felt by Tatiana, age 9.5, Bhavana, age 10, Fenna, age 9, Erica, age 9, Irene, age 8. What does peace feel like to you? Just imagine what we could build with peace. I can't draw it all here. A book is too small for that. Peace and love to everyone. And that's a list of a bunch of words that all mean peace in a bunch of different languages. The end.
Do you guys know what this is? It's the earth. It's our world. We're going to sing a song now that you might have heard before, but we're going to change the words a little bit. We're going to sing about how we have the whole world in our hands. When we sing this song, why don't we use some signs? Do you remember the sign for world? World. So we're going to sing about how we have the whole world, and then we'll just cup our hands for in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole wide world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. Good job. What are these? They are big, tall trees. When we take care of trees, they take care of us. Trees make oxygen, which we need to breathe. So the more trees there are, the healthier our air is, the healthier we are. We can take care of trees by making sure that we don't pollute, so that they have healthy soil to grow in. Making sure that we Don't waste paper so that we don't have to cut down so many trees. Making sure that we only cut them down when we really need them. Do you remember the sign for tree? Tree. Can we sing that we have the great big trees in our hands? We've got the great big trees in our hands. We've got the great big trees in our hands. We've got the great big trees in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. What's this? It's the ocean. We can take care of the ocean by reducing our waste and making sure not to pollute the ocean. Sometimes when we throw our trash away, we just forget about it. But do you know that lots of it ends up in the ocean? That's not good for the fish that live there. And it's not good for us. Do you remember the sign for ocean? We learned it a long time ago. Ocean. That's right. Can we sing that we have the beautiful ocean in our hands? We've got the beautiful ocean in our hands. We've got the beautiful ocean in our hands. We've got the beautiful ocean in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. Good job. What are these? That's a lot of different types of animals. We share the earth with all of the animals on it. It's their home too, just like it's our home. So it's important that we make sure to keep it clean and safe for them, just like we want to keep it clean and safe for us. You can learn about the animals that live in your area and maybe some endangered species that live in your area. And there are lots of things that you can do to help keep them safe and keep them protected. Let's learn the sign for animal. You'll make 2 thumbs up and hold them against your chest and just brush forward slightly. Animal. Can we sing that we have all of the animals in our hands? We have all of the animals in our hands. We have all of the animals in our hands. We have all of the animals in our hands. We have the whole world in our hands. Good job. Oh, there's one more. What is that? It's a whole bunch of people. The world is home to all of us. And in order to make sure that everybody stays safe and healthy, we have to make sure that the earth stays safe and healthy. Why don't we learn the sign for everybody? Make a kind of an L with your hands, and you're going to just move it from one shoulder to the other. Everybody. Sort of like you're pointing at everybody. Can we sing that we have everybody in our hands? We have everybody in our hands. We have everybody in our hands. We have everybody in our hands. We have the whole world in our hands. Good job, guys. I have one more exercise for us before we go on to our next book. Remember that mindfulness starts with us. So let's just take a moment to refocus on ourselves and on our breaths. So this activity is, again, coming from the book Breathe Like a Bear by Kira Willie. This one's called Where Is Your Breath? So I'm going to have you sit up tall with me and maybe like shake out your body a little bit, give it a quick little wiggle. And now let's hold ourselves still and take a long breath in. And let it all the way out. Keep taking long breaths in and letting them out. As you're breathing, think about where you feel the air in your body. Do you feel it in your nose? in your mouth, in your chest, or your stomach. Maybe you feel it flowing all the way down to the tips of your fingers, or all the way down to the tips of your toes. In your mind, as you're breathing, follow the air in and out of your body. Breathe in, feeling it flow through you, and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Take one more breath in and let it all the way out. Our next book is called Whoever You Are by Mem Fox. This book explores all the ways that we are unique and special, but also all the ways that everyone in the world is so similar, and that we're all connected because we are all creatures of this world.
Whoever you are. Whoever you are. Little one, whoever you are. Wherever you are. There are little ones just like you, all over the world. Their skin may be different from yours, and their homes may be different from yours. Their schools might be different from yours. And their lands may be different from yours. Their lives may be different from yours. And their words may be very different from yours. But inside, their hearts are just like yours. Whoever they are, wherever they are, all over the world. Their smiles are like yours, and they laugh just like you. Their hurts are like yours, and they cry like you too. Whoever they are, wherever they are, all over the world. Little one, when you are older and when you are grown, you may be different. And they may be different. Wherever you are, wherever they are, in this big, wide world. But remember this. Joys are all the same, and love is the same. Pain is the same, and blood is the same. Smiles are the same, and hearts are just the same. Wherever they are, wherever you are, wherever we are. All over the world. The end.
We have a couple more activities. This next one is also from Breathe Like a Bear. It's called Bunny Breath. So I'm going to have you guys make little bunny hands. And we're going to breathe in quickly through our nose. Just in. And then let it out. Let's do that again. Let it out. Now put your hands on your stomach, let you breathe in, and feel your stomach muscles working. And now let's just take in one big breath and let it out. Before we go, we have to make sure to get our grumpies out. So why don't you make a grumpy face for me? Or if you're feeling a little sad today, you can make a sad face. If you're feeling angry, make your angry face. Whatever it is you're feeling that you want to get rid of, make that face. And we're going to breathe in deeply and blow that feeling away. And let's breathe in one more time and blow all the rest of that bad feeling away. Now maybe you have a little smile on your face. Hopefully all those grumpies or those sads or those angries are all gone. We're going to take in one more breath and breathe it out. Our last book is called Here and Now, with words by Julia Denos and illustrated by E.B. Goodale. While I'm reading this book, I want you to just focus on you and where you are right now in relation to the world around you.
Here and now. Here and now. Right here, right now, you are reading this book. The book is in your lap, or in your hands, or in someone else's. You are sitting, or you are standing, or you are wrapped up in a bed. Under your bum, under your feet, is a seat, a floor, or a cloud, if you're on an airplane. And under all of those things is the earth, the grass and the dirt, the earthworms and the fossils, the rocks. And the earth is spinning in the middle of space. We don't know why, but it is. And you are too. Right here, right now, while you are reading this book, many, many things are happening. Rain is forming in the belly of a cloud. An ant has finished its home on the other side of the planet. Somewhere, a telephone is ringing. An idea is blooming. Grass is pushing up through cement. A friend you haven't met yet is sitting down to dinner. There are animals, wild ones and tame, living and breathing all around you. Muscles are growing. Cities are growing. Babies are growing. Cuts and broken bones are sewing up and healing. Unseen work is being done. Right here, right now, you are becoming. Isn't it wonderful? The end.
Let's finish off by singing our If You're Happy and You Know It song, because I know that I'm very happy after all of those stories and all of those breathing exercises. So let's start by clapping our hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Good job. Can we stomp our feet? You can stand up to stomp if you like, or you can do like me and just stomp while you're sitting. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Good job. Can we shout hooray? If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! Now, let's put all three of them together. We're going to clap, stomp, shout hooray. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, do all three. Hooray! Good job, friends. Well, that's it for us today. We are going to have an activity after this if you would like to stick around for an at-home activity. Otherwise, we have another story time coming out in a couple days on our YouTube. We have our Zoom story times. If you want information about those, you can email me at the email listed below. And we'll have another story time coming out for you next week. Let's go ahead and sing our goodbye song. We are going to wave and we are going to clap. We wave goodbye like this, we wave goodbye like this. We clap our hands for all our friends and wave goodbye like this. Goodbye, friends.
So I'm going to give you a couple ways to go about this craft. Some things that you definitely will need are a piece of paper for the background. I chose black, but you can make it white and just decorate it if you want, or you can choose purple or any silly color that you want. You're going to need glue and scissors and some color paper for your hands. You can try to pick a paper that matches your skin color, or you can pick a funky color. I chose orange. You might want something to trace the outline of your world with, but you can also just try your best at drawing a circle freehand. And for that, you're going to need a piece of paper to trace your earth out of. So this is where you can make some decisions. I'm going to use a blue piece of paper, and then I'm going to cut out pieces of green paper and glue it on to make the earth. But you can also use a white piece of paper and then use paint or markers to color on the ocean and the land if you'd like to do that instead. I also grabbed some yellow scrap paper that I'm going to cut out into stars to glue in the back of my picture. You're also going to want a pencil. So let's start by tracing. You're going to use your bowl or anything else that's circular, or just try to free hand a circle and trace it and cut it out. The tracing I made was a little too big for the black paper, so I cut inside the lines a little bit. So maybe don't use a bowl quite as big as I did. Now you want to trace both of your hands onto whatever color paper you chose and go ahead and cut those out as well. So now we're going to glue these pieces down. Line it up first and then glue down the hands and your globe on top of it. If you are decorating it using paints or markers, I would suggest doing that before you glue it, but it's up to you. Now I am going to cut out some pieces of my green scrap paper and glue them onto my earth. If you want a challenge, you can look at a map of the earth and try to trace some of the continents and cut those out. I am not up for a challenge today, so I am going to just cut some abstract shapes. Now I'm just going to cut a couple little shapes out of my yellow paper and then glue that onto the black background to make some stars. Alright, and I just wrote, I've got the whole world in my hands using chalk, which you can do if you want to. If you do want to do it, I suggest you write it before you put your stars in, because I didn't. But it still looks okay. So there it is. If you want to keep watching, I'm going to do a little watercolor earth as well, in case you're interested in painting your earth. So for this one, we're going to start off kind of the same, but with white paper. I'm using cardstock. If you have watercolor paper, that would be suggested. If not, the thicker the better. Computer paper will work, but just try not to get it too wet, because if it gets too wet, the paper will fall apart. So I just traced a circle, used a smaller object to trace this time, and you can either cut it out and then paint once it's cut out, or you can paint on it now. That might help ensure that you get the whole thing covered, so you don't have to worry about splashing off of the circle. So you can use one of these palettes here. They're really cheap and easy to find. You get them at Walmart, the dollar store, art store. But all of mine are missing the blue, so I'm going to use my slightly fancier watercolors, which also are quite cheap. I got these for $5 at Ocean State Job Lot. So if you do a lot of art in your house, I would recommend maybe investing in a set of these. You can get a lot more done with all the different colors. Okay, so I've got my blue and green paint set up, my paintbrushes, my little cup of water, and a paper towel to dry the brushes on. If you are using watercolor paper or thicker paper, it's a good idea to start by just wetting the whole canvas. If you're using computer paper though, I might skip this step. All right, and now we're just gonna paint. You can get creative and, try to make it look like the world, but if you want to use different colors, this is your artwork. So you do whatever feels good to you. I might have made that too dark, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. So here's my little watercolor earth. I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna cut it out along the circle that I traced earlier. If this is how you chose to make your earth, you would just continue with the rest of the craft that we already detailed in the beginning of the video. Have fun, and remember to get creative.